Hey guys, it's Luke here and welcome back to another video. You join me today once again here at Regal Autosport with their development MK8 Golf R. This car has been on the channel actually quite a few times now, over the course of probably about a year or so now that these guys have had this car. Naturally, because there is a new video, there are some new parts on the car. Most notably, the awesome prototype Eventuri carbon induction kit and also a RaceChip tuning box. So the car is essentially tuned. The stock ECUs on this car are still locked in the time of recording this video, although I reckon a little birdie tells me that they will be unlocked and unleashed before too long. So at least for the moment, the only way of getting some real power gains from your MK8 Golf R is through a tuning box. So that's why a RaceChip is on there at the moment. The car is running just shy of 380 horsepower, about 500 newton meters of torque as well. So some decent power, at least whilst the ECU is still locked. But what we'll do, we'll catch up with Ash, run through the bits which have been done to the car and everything like that. And then we're gonna go out for a quick spin in the car to see how it drives and how it feels with the RaceChip tuning box. Okay, MK8 R back on the channel, and so is Ash.
Here we go
again. So, like I said to the guys in the intro, this car has been on the channel quite a few times now, and kind of over the different stages of the bits which you've done to it. It has been a little while, and so obviously there is a few little bits which have been added. Of course, like I mentioned in the intro as well, that is the Eventuri and the RaceChip.
Nice shiny carbon fibre intake.
Yeah, it looks so good, doesn't it?
Obviously, there's not a lot of products out for this car at the moment, and everything's sort of like starting to come through. So obviously, Ford sent down their intake hose, so we had that fitted. That made some nice gains, and then Eventuri asked us if we would test fit obviously the prototype intake, as you can see on there.
That's pretty cool.
Make sure it fits okay, see what kind of power it makes, and it makes some great gains on this car. And also we've got the RaceChip fitted as well. So obviously a tuning box, quite open about it. It's not the best way to tune a car, but obviously if it's the only way you can tune it and you want a bit more power, that's probably the best way to go. And they have like a bit of a warranty with it as well. But yeah, obviously once we can physically tune the ECU, we will do that. At the moment we can't communicate with it. And pretty much no one in the world can communicate with it. But once someone can, everyone all of a sudden will come out with ECU upgrades and stuff like that. But for now, we've got the RaceChip. So I mean, the Eventuri made about 5-10 horsepower, I think, on the standard software. And then when we activated the RaceChip, obviously there's like more boost pressure, there's more of a demand for airflow. The Eventuri made, I think it was about 20 horsepower and about 40 newton meters of torque, so it's a big gain. That makes all those good watts sounds as well.
Absolutely. I mean, look at how open it is as well. Because obviously you can only get so much airflow through the OEM. So the standard intake is just like the Mark 7, where this side is closed and it only gets intake from there. And then on the Eventuri, they've opened up this bit above, also on this side. And then obviously you've got the Eventuri like patented cone in there, going down to the intake hose as well. So it's like a full high performance intake. Sounds great as well. And it looks
the sound is the thing that I most love.
Very true, very true. But yeah, I mean, that is pretty much the extra bits on the car. Obviously, seeing as it is tuned now, well, tuned as much as we can. It'd be good to see what it's like, because of course I have driven this car in the past and actually been out on it around Goodwood as well.
You're going to notice it quite dramatically when we go out there.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, I think what we'll do then, without further ado, we'll get it started up, head on out for a quick drive, and see what it's like.
See what it's like.
Sweet. And this exhaust is still stock, isn't it?
Yeah, still standard exhaust system. Doesn't sound too bad. Yeah,
obviously a lot of that's pumped in, but
still got some nice pops and bangs.
I remember those pops actually,
The intake sounds so good as well.
So what's quite interesting about kind of how this car's been on the channel for quite a few times is to see it kind of progress
Yeah.
A little bit, because when we first had it on the channel, I think it was when we did the stock dyno runs, that kind of thing, where it made pretty strong power for a completely bone stock car. I think it was like 340.
Yeah, I think they were saying that it was meant to be making around 313 horsepower or PS. I can't exactly remember now, but it was around about 320 PS, which is 313 horsepower, I think.
Okay.
And then us, alongside a load of other people, were seeing around 340 PS as well, because our dyno back then was reading in PS.
Okay.
Since we've changed it to horsepower.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't think that reflects in the standard performance as well. Because they're much faster than what they should be.
Yeah, absolutely. And then obviously the coilovers went on, and we went around the track. Then the new wheels and tyres. We did the launch control video, and now we've got the RaceChip and the Eventuri as well.
Exactly, ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I cannot wait for when the ECU is fully unlocked on this, because it'll be...
It's going to be an absolute animal.
Yeah, it will be, because they're really quick.
Maybe, well, on a tuner box you can get about 370 horsepower. So with a proper tune and also the DSG software, you're probably going to be 380, 390, maybe 400 even. Yeah. 400 would be really nice to see.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
Here's hoping.
Yeah,
just the stage 1 with an intake, that'd be quite cool to see.
That would be really cool. And like we said, at the moment, power-wise, 377 brake horsepower?
Yeah, 377 horsepower, I think, if I remember rightly, and about 504 newton meters of torque.
Yeah.
Something around that. Yeah. Obviously, when we were doing some pulls a little bit earlier on, I was sort of like demonstrating that maybe there might be like a little bit of clutch slip there, or like hesitancy from the gearbox with the tuning box on the higher power setting. So we can actually do DSG software on this that we're developing at the moment.
Awesome.
So that should make obviously the shifts a lot crisper.
Yeah.
Be able to increase the torque capacity so that you can actually use all the power all the time.
Sure. Yeah.
Definitely needs brakes.
Brakes are. I've seen better days, haven't they?
Obviously, we've done about 3 or 4 track days on the brakes. We have ordered new discs.
Okay.
They've been on back order for about 6 months now.
No way.
Yeah, so the pads have come through. Waiting on discs, and we might have something in the pipeline with the guys at Raceline as well. Ooh. On the brake kind of side of things, which obviously we're really going to need. Doing all the track days, increasing the power, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, looking forward to getting some brakes on here that are going to work, because they sound quite angry.
They do, yeah. I mean, being a development car as well, there's always something in the pipeline. So I guess there's some other bits which you're working on as well behind the scenes.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, this uses like the 7-speed wet clutch transmission that was used in like the real late model like S3s, like the AV S3s had like the 7 speeds. And also a similar gearbox as what's in like the GTI TCRs with like the 7 speeds as well. Yeah. Because obviously they have the VAQ ELSD, which is like a Heldex kind of thing on the outside. So for all intents and purposes, the gearbox is basically a four-wheel drive gearbox. So we're developing a diff for those that's also going to be able to fit into one of these as well.
Yeah, sweet.
And with the amount of sort of like low down torque this produces, you can feel whenever you're turning, even like when we're coming out of the car park, you can feel the front inside wheel slipping quite a bit. So I think that's going to improve things.
Definitely. And one thing with the RaceChip as well is, so you can have multiple different like settings or something, isn't it? Multiple different power levels and
multiple different power levels and stuff. So you can turn it off. Obviously at the moment we've gone for sort of like maximum, which obviously feels quite good. Obviously you've got the traction control light like going crazy. And this is obviously uphill as well.
It's so linear as well though. It's just a boost of what it is stock, isn't it?
Yeah. So imagine what this is going to be like with a proper ECU tune.
Mate, yeah, it's going to be awesome. Really, really cool. I suppose at the moment, because the ECUs are locked, all the development is with like bolt-on parts, and there's only so much you can do with bolt-on.
Exactly, yeah. So the way sort of like the aftermarket tuning market works is like there's a few like tool providers that manufacture the tools that communicate with the ECUs. Yeah. And pretty much every single tuner throughout the world uses that same like family of tools. And at the moment, there's no tool that can write to or read to the ECU. Yeah. And as time's come along, you start like slowly gaining functions. So to begin with, we couldn't even communicate with the ECU, whereas now we can start to like log like certain things.
Yeah.
But it's not all the things you would want to be able to do to be able to tune the ECU.
Yeah.
And you obviously still can't write to it as well. So yeah, basically at the moment it's mainly about putting bolt-ons on it that are obviously going to be able to support when you put like big turbos on it, all that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah.
Because obviously this car makes quite a good amount of power standard. Like the 340 horsepower or PS, whatever you want to call it, is going to be enough for most people, maybe like year one or something.
Definitely.
So obviously you can pop an intake on there, make a bit more power, make it sound a lot nicer as well.
Yeah.
And then start to do some bolt-ons in the exhaust, like rather than taking the GPS off, do like exhaust systems.
Yeah.
So we're going to start working on exhaust systems soon, sort of like fit some from various different brands, and see what ones we kind of like, and then keep those obviously on the car, whichever one we prefer.
Good plan.
And then obviously we've got all the Vertline stuff as well, so like front subframe, arms, rear subframe, all that kind of stuff. I think the main focus for us on this car is probably going to be making like a really fast like stage 1 or 2 car with a standard turbo for now, and then focusing on doing like the suspension setup with like the differential, all that kind of stuff as well, to improve the driving experience that way.
That's going to be a monster.
Can't wait to chuck it around some corners, put some really grippy tyres on it.
Definitely, So I think the last time this car was on the channel, it was actually when I took it out for a quick spin and I tested out launch control, which was really good fun, shortly after the new wheels and tyres were done, I think. So obviously before the RaceChip and the Eventuri was fitted. Now, if I remember rightly, we were looking at about 4.2 seconds, 0 to 60.
Exactly,
which was the best run. I think I did 4 runs in total. That was the best one which I got. And so I think it would be rude not to
Let's give it a go.
To do it again and see what we're going to make. I think it, well, to be honest, it was in the height of summer where I filmed that video, obviously height of winter at the moment, but the road is still a bit dry, so should be interesting.
Yeah, I reckon sub 4, do you reckon?
That would be cool, wouldn't it? That would be really cool. Ooh, maybe the tyres are a bit cold. Are they are part worn, aren't they? 4.5.
4.5. All right, then we'll have to give that a go again.
Definitely.
Ready?
Yep. At 60. Oh no, hang on, no, I read it wrong. I read it wrong. It was 5 seconds.
That was terrible.
Awesome stuff, man.
Great.
Awesome stuff. Well, I mean, it is a fairly straightforward video today, to be honest. But it'll be good. Well, it was obviously good to get this thing out on the channel again and experience it with the tuning box, because I don't think I've ever experienced a car with a tuning box before.
Yeah, well, so now you know.
There's that. So we'll definitely touch base once the ECU is finally unlocked and once
get you out of it straight away. We'll put
mate, that'd be awesome.
Some kind of tune on it. I don't know if we're going to do something ourselves, or if obviously Racing Line APR are going to come out with something half decent.
Yeah, true.
Straight away. But yeah, we'll get something on it, do something mild, and then see what the differences are.
Yeah, definitely.
And even probably when we get the DSG tune, it's probably worth coming out again.
Oh yeah.
Just to see what the differences are, because I think that's going to be dramatic.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, a DSG is such a good gearbox, but you need to do the tune on it as well.
Yeah, I mean, if it's exceeding the amount of torque that the clutch pressure is obviously designed for, then you're not really given any hope.
Exactly. Anyway, that was good fun. Nice little video. Of course, you guys can find all the details for Regal down in the description down below. But for me today, that is it. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please make sure you leave a like and make sure you're subscribed for all the adventures still to come.